Good evening, parents. My name is Dr. Mary White, and I'm the Director of Curriculum and Instruction for the Martin County School District. Today's presentation is recorded and not live, but at the end of this presentation, I'll share my email. Please email me if you have any questions. Today's agenda will go over 3 pieces of content. The first is a review of the B.E.S.T standards, as well as how the B.E.S.T standards can help parents. The second is the new ELA materials for K through 5 called Benchmark Advance Florida. And the third is the new elementary school report card for 21-22. The B.E.S.T standards, or the benchmarks for excellent student thinking, are for English Language Arts, or ELA, for grades K through 12. At the beginning of the year, elementary school parents got a comprehensive guide to the B.E.S.T standards from the state of Florida. These are excellent comprehensive guides, and I wanted to give you some additional resources that parents can use when it comes to understanding and knowing what are the B.E.S.T standards. Next year, we'll be implementing B.E.S.T standards for mathematics. The B.E.S.T standards are meant to be a resource for parents. Not only is it meant to be a resource for parents, it's also meant to be a resource for students. I have 2 websites there for you, but you may also just Google Florida's B.E.S.T standards. The B.E.S.T standards, as well as the parent guides that were sent home, are filled with great information such as book lists and everyday activities to support your child's learning. The appendices within the B.E.S.T standards book are some of the best tools that I know that are very helpful. Appendix B, there is a list for every single grade level of some of the books that your child will be reading this year. Additionally, these can serve as book lists to help you in determining what books your child should be reading. The B.E.S.T standards also has a civics book list to help support the rich study of civics. Another appendix that's helpful in the B.E.S.T standards is Appendix C. Appendix C is all about writing. You'll find great information about writing and communication. There is also a conventions progression by grade level. That is, it's a list of conventions and when it is introduced and when the skill should be mastered. For example, beginning each sentence with a capital letter is introduced in kindergarten and should also be mastered in kindergarten. But more difficult skills like identifying irregular nouns is introduced in 2nd grade and mastered in 3rd grade. Remember, these standards are K through 12, and parents will find this a helpful resource throughout your child's school years. Appendix C also has Greek and Latin root words, which are really helpful in building an excellent vocabulary. These root words are for grades 3 through 5. In the earlier grades, in primary grades, there are lists of high-frequency words for students to master. There is also a glossary of terms. This is a helpful resource for parents, teachers, and students. In education, we often use terms that may not be known. The B.E.S.T standards in English Language Arts has a glossary of terms to assist with that. Coming soon, we are going to be adopting the K through 12 B.E.S.T standards in mathematics. Additionally, we are also undergoing a mathematics adoption of materials this year. This means that we will be taking and adopting new math materials for grades K through 12. Speaking of new materials, the new materials for grades K through 5 are called Benchmark Advance Florida. These instructional materials were selected by a committee as is prescribed by the state of Florida and the Martin County School Board. The Martin County School Board made a commitment to purchase K through 12 materials, allowing all students in grades K through 12 to have brand new English language arts or ELA materials. These new materials are based on the B.E.S.T standards. The Benchmark Advanced Text is a comprehensive program that includes all the components parents would expect with an English language arts curriculum, including reading, vocabulary, spelling, and writing. According to the Benchmark Advanced Florida website, the materials are meant to engage the students in reading and writing and ensure that students have appropriate foundational skills in order to read engaging and rich texts. The texts are based on the concept of science, history, and the arts. These texts are meant to build background knowledge as well as allow students to read engaging material on their grade level. The Benchmark Advanced Text is written at grade level, so students have all year to progress through the text as they engage in this grade level reading. While some students are not able to read on grade level yet, the student is exposed to the text around the knowledge strands with support from the teacher. There are knowledge strands written throughout the book. In the Benchmark Advanced, there are 10 units. Each unit is the same for each grade level. For example, Unit 1 is Life Science. For kindergarten, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth grade, it's also Life Science. These units are based on the knowledge strands of science, social studies, civics, and literature. Each unit is 3 weeks long, and at the end of the unit, there is a unit assessment. Parents will be receiving additional information on how to access the results of these assessments. One of the highlights of the units is that all students in grades K through 5 have the same content. Here's a picture of Unit 2, Its Character Matters. In this unit, students engage in stories and factual information about character counts. Each grade level has different stories, but it's all surrounding the same theme. This could lead to some great conversations at home. There are 10 units, 3 weeks per unit. Each unit begins with an essential question and enduring understandings, which allow the students to build a deep understanding around each of the topics. The Benchmark Advanced materials were built on the B.E.S.T standards. There are some additional features within the book. In terms of enrichment for students, there's novel study, reader's theater, and research and inquiry projects. Intervention and reteaching is built right into the program. What can families expect to see from these Benchmark Advanced materials? At the end of the 3 week unit, the books will go home so that you can support your child's learning. Please go through the book and see what your child is learning. What vocabulary words? What spelling words? How is your child doing with reading and writing? Each 9 weeks, a list of spelling words will also go home. It is not the expectation that students memorize these words, but can they find them in their reading? And can they use these words in their writing? This will help children build strong vocabulary. Additionally, at the end of each unit, there's a take-home calendar on the back of the booklet. These are fun and enriching activities that parents and students can do together. Consider spending time with your child by doing some of these activities. Each 9 weeks, parents will receive progress about their children's progress with the B.E.S.T standards, ELA, math, science, social studies, and behaviors that affect learning in a progress report. The new progress report for 21-22 has the same purpose. The purpose of the progress report is to give information to parents as to how students are progressing through the standards. And students have all year to master these standards. The new English language arts standards have many benchmarks and components, so students again will have all year to master these. The new benchmark advanced materials are written at grade level, so teachers can assess students to see how they are performing with that grade level material at any given time. Because students have all year to master the standards, each 9 weeks the students will get a progress report. But at the end of the year, students will get a report card which serves as the final report as to how students performed in the grade level. There are 13 components or reporting categories to the new English language arts progress report. Students will be assessed on each of these each 9 weeks. There are foundations. That includes concept of print, which is, can the child hold the book correctly? Can the child move the book from left to right? Phonological awareness and phonics are other categories that will be assessed, but they are typically taught in grades K and 1 and 2. If your child is in the older grades like 4 and 5, they will see an NA for not assessed. You can see under the writing portion of this progress report, there's a spelling grade. This spelling grade is an assessment of how students are using spelling in their reading and writing, and not necessarily from a weekly spelling quiz. Handwriting is also on the report card, and the cursive writing would be for older students. In addition to new progress report, there's also a new scale. This scale will be used for all content areas, including English language arts, mathematics, science, social studies, and related arts. The behavior that affect learning scale, that is, those behaviors outside of academics, is still based on a 4-point scale, the same as it was last year. The new scale is a 3-2-1-0 scale. This scale is based on mastery of the standards. The best standards are all about mastery. Because of this, the new progress report is built on mastery. The 3 is mastering the grade level expectation. That is the end of the year grade level expectations, which means the child has mastered the many benchmarks and clarifications of the best standards. When a child receives a 3, it means the child has mastered all of those benchmarks with independence, mastery, and success. The 2 on the scale means the child is progressing. Many children will be scored a 2 because they are progressing toward the end of year grade level expectations. Let me give you an example. A student may receive a 2 on writing at this time because the writing standards includes many different types of writing, including narrative writing and expository writing. The teacher may not have taught that yet, and it may come later in the year. A student who has scored a 2 is on track to master grade level expectations. In the past, there was a 2 star, and that is not on this new scale. A 1 means a student is not progressing, and this may be acceptable for the first 9 weeks as students are learning a new program and taking new assessments. Students who score a 0 are deficient in that area and will need intervention. The schools provide the intervention. Schools must give information to parents when a child is severely deficient in reading. If you have any questions regarding the new progress report, please contact your child's school. Coming soon. The mathematics best standards are coming next year. They are clear and concise and also meant to be a resource for parents, students, and teachers. Additionally, the school board will be adopting new mathematics textbooks for next year. That process will be ongoing all this year. Again, thank you for your involvement. If you have any questions, please contact your school or you may email me. My email is attached. Thank you and have a good evening.